Ever thought about why promises mean so much to a man? I'm hopeless at mathematics. I'm more of an artistic type of guy, which helps me see things from other perspectives than just numbers, which I do respect, by the way. But I've never liked the numbers giving me the whole picture, telling me what life is, or more importantly, who I am. But generally speaking, men do like numbers a fair bit in mathematics. But, and I'm talking to the ladies here, have you ever wondered why men love numbers so much? Hello, welcome to my channel. I put out videos every week, so please subscribe if you want to see more. Well, I'm sure a lot of women clicked off this video once I mentioned numbers. But for the few that are still listening, do you know why men like numbers so much? It's because they can trust numbers, which is something wholly missing between men and women today. Trust. Think about how men, logically, keep pointing to the failures of the marriage rate, for instance, but women, who only benefit conveniently from a divorce, by the way, they keep obtusely saying things like,
"But why don't you want to get married?"
Each man is trying to survive a woman's world today, so men are clinging to the life rafts of numbers and reason to save them. The data and the science is much more solid and trustworthy than the broken promises of emotion. Logic and numbers feel like they're more on a man's side.
But you haven't found the right woman to trust yet.
You see, to a man, data and numbers can't really betray him. Not that much anyway, and not that often. The numbers don't really lie to him. He loves their certainty. It never lets him down. Think about it. At the gym, 20 kilos is 20 kilos. At work, a paycheck is a paycheck. In carpentry, you measure twice, you cut once. You pay the bills, and then life is balanced again. Back to equilibrium. Men like the fairness of numbers. They stabilize life somehow. The numbers approach to life is also very comforting for people who have a need for a lot of certainty in their lives. And men need a lot of certainty today, especially in a woman's world. In men's desperation to survive in a woman's world today, they're less and less emotional themselves. They don't care about loving anyone anymore, or anything, as we see a lot of guys giving up in all areas of life. And I don't really fault them per se, even though I encourage men not to give up for their own sake and happiness, and I talk about it in my recent video. But rather, I worry because men are surviving coldly, purely out of necessity. They're also distancing themselves from all the colour they might have in their lives, from all the closeness that comes from meaningful human connection. Men are relying on data and mathematics so much today as their best friend now because that's all they can rely on. So much so that even the more traditional, historical, more creative ways of understanding life, like Stoicism, are disappearing. And this is not good as far as I can see it. It's not good because men are losing a very huge and creative way of understanding life for themselves in favour of a more synthetic and I would say limited and defensive way of understanding things. Numbers to me can be scaffolding around a human being, but they are not what constitutes a human being. Okay, here's a scenario for you. What does a smart numbers and thing type of man do on a date today, in today's times with women? Where's his language now? Where's the lexicon, the person, the personal, the introspection and philosophy to convey who he is and what he values to another person? Where are the words to express what he loves and why? Why he loves what he loves? How can he paint a creative picture, a personal one, a meaningful human picture of himself to the person sitting across from him? How does he do it in colour so she might see the world from his eyes? Well, the answer is he can't, and she can't see what he doesn't show. Instead, we're just bodies to each other. The depersonalised mode today is, I don't know who I am, and frankly, I don't care, and all I want to do is connect in a very base animal kind of way with my base desires. But at the same time, in a very entitled way, I'll go on a date expecting the other person to be much more of an open human being than me and fill up my lazy emptiness. Man, talk about entitled. What good are cold numbers on a date? What good are you, to yourself or others, without a fair and good moral philosophy? When we view people as objects on a chessboard, like a puzzle, like maths, it can start to make sense in a defensive kind of way, as a kind of structural understanding of the world with pieces in it. But when we see people as individuals, similar to us, well, that's where problems arise to a highly analytical, math-type person, like I mentioned about the example of going on a date. Or what about when a loved one dies? Where is your data and math to save this equation? It's commonly been talked about that men are judged on performance to a very, very large degree compared to women. We're told to grow up, to be a man. We're told to take responsibility, lead, be stable, or put another way, we are loved when we do things well, when we perform well. By contrast, we love girls who just want to have fun, regardless of how old they are. We love them irresponsibly even. We love them when they fail. We think it's adorable. We love women for just being themselves. And really today, with women's attitudes towards men, a guy's just happy if a woman likes him. Get this, he actually loves a woman who doesn't hate him. Wrap your head around that. Because a guy has to perform, because he's loved for being better and perfect, he's always in this, I got to get this right mode. I can't fail mode. I got to make her laugh mode. I have to say yes mode. It's all validation, validation. Love me, please. Say yes to me. And so because there's this attitude today from women of a man is always a disappointment, regardless of how good he may or may not be. As an aside, it reminds me of how performance reviews by managers in business never praise their employees. They only tell them how they're doing things wrong as ways to make them pedal harder in their jobs, just pushing them to be more productive. Well, women seem to be doing that to their male employees in relationships today, but I digress. Data, numbers, and analytics are things that men can trust. They are promises that are kept, and it's easy to see why men are trusting them more than women today. The mathematics between people was once a shared morality where we cooperated better. We have forgotten the golden rule. We are not playing fair between each other. I think a philosophical mode is the way through for men, not a purely mathematical one, but that's me. Leave your thoughts on this in the comments below, guys. If you enjoyed these videos, share them with someone or donate if you feel like saying thanks. I really appreciate it. Support the channel any way you can, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later. Bye.